I'm going to add guerrilla warfare, give you PTSD, and obviously let you commit war crimes, but it's not a war crime unless you do it during a war. So to start a war in your world, I added poverty and the Great Depression to Minecraft. You can put a village into an economic recession by removing all the job blocks, which will leave all the villagers unemployed and homeless. Since their hands are permanently stuck together, they'll be forced to dig dirt with their heads in order to build a house for them and their children. And to get food, they'll all have to wait in line at this new soup kitchen structure. If you remove the source of their soup, they'll resort to eating the wooden bowls, which will give them this new splinter effect. And since they clearly have splinters on their feet, they'll take damage when they walk, and they'll definitely take damage when they're digging with their heads. You can actually brew a potion of splinters like this to give any mob splinters, which makes them take damage whenever they move, and is definitely a war crime, but more importantly, it's a great way to defeat the Ender Dragon. Anyways, I never really understood economics or recessions in college, although I was greatly depressed. But to me, it always made more sense that wars started after one country killed another country's leader. And that's why I added assassinations to Minecraft. Mojang gives every mob a unique ID, and if you give that ID to this new assassin villager, along with some emeralds, they'll take care of that villager for you. Sometimes the assassin villager has to generate a lot of chunks to find his target, which means your world file size is gonna get really big. To stop your game from running out of storage and glitching out, I coded the assassin villagers to mine out every chunk they visit so that it doesn't take up too much space. And they'll even hire more assassins to help with this task. Except the villagers that live in these chunks are obviously not going to be happy. So they're going to hire assassins to take out your assassins, and it's going to end up in a big world war that's going to take up all your storage space anyways. To stop it, you'll need to drop like 20,000 tons of TNT onto the cherry blossom villagers, or else your entire world will become a war zone, which means you'll be constantly dodging stray arrows, these new grenade items, and even poisonous gas. It's hard for anything to survive in this world, including most food sources and even the grass and trees. So you'll have to get your food by stealing the meal rations from the bodies of soldiers. If you don't like canned tuna and freeze-dried pork, you can also do what they did in real life and just eat your fellow soldiers, or even combine everything together to chef up a yummy stew. Having to eat villager meat every day will give you the new PTSD effect though, which means certain sounds will trigger a cutscene from the war, and you'll always get a nightmare cutscene before you go to sleep. So far, we've just been dealing with regular war, so I guess I'll take it up a notch and add war crimes to Minecraft now. The witch is already a war criminal, so to get her powers, I let you cut her wart off and use it to brew a potion of wart, which permanently disfigures anything it hits with a bunch of ugly warts. Before I get into this though, you need to be careful to shear off the witch's wart and not her hat, because if you expose her weird head shape, she'll hit you with a potion of permanent blindness before using your skin to make a new hat for herself. Anyways, if you accidentally drink the potion of wart, you'll need to craft a wart remover cream like this, and then eat it to enter the wart dimension, where you'll have to commit wart crimes to defeat the warts and clean up your skin. For starters, you can attack these civilian warts, or even keep them hostage in what looks like a torture chamber but is actually a warture chamber. It's hard to do this all on your own, so you can recruit child warts as soldiers to fight against the adult warts, and to deal cultural damage, you can destroy wart monuments like the Great Wart of China. War crimes often go hand in hand with guerrilla warfare, which is when you're outnumbered so you have to hire guerrillas to fight your wars for you. And while it would be sick to have a guerrilla soldier, or a guerrilla assassin, people have been talking about if 100 humans could beat one gorilla or not, so I added true guerrilla warfare to Minecraft. First I had to make humans, and since we evolved from gorillas, I let you breed these new gorilla mobs again and again until something mutates and we have a gorilla that's kind of human looking. and then you can give him some pants and shear him to make what's basically a human. Now we just have to repeat this 99 more times to get 100 humans. But if these humans get to mine and make weapons and store stuff in chests, they're obviously going to defeat a gorilla. So since gorillas like to beat their chests, I also let them beat your chests and destroy your items. And now that our humans have to fight bare-handed, the gorilla can really show off its strength by punching, kicking, slamming, and straight up ripping you apart. Anyways, here's what it looks like after a gorilla is done fighting 100 humans. And here's what happens after you name a Donkey Kong. We've gotten a little bit sidetracked from war and war crimes, especially because Minecraft is a medieval game with its villagers and dragons, and these assassins with guns and gorillas with guns that I've added don't necessarily fit that aesthetic. So to end the video, I thought I'd add crusades, which are basically medieval wars to the game. Every village now comes with a Pope villager. And if you want to see my Minecraft Pope tribute, click here. And just like in real life, the Pope can summon God, who will then tell the village what to do. Some days he just wants them to build a church, but other days he'll want them to go to war with another village. During wartime, the blacksmith will melt down the iron golems in the village and use their iron to make special knight armor for the villagers. Even a single knight on horseback is kind of hard to beat, so fighting an entire crusade will end up being very difficult. Luckily, we know about stuff like TNT dupers that can rain carnage on these medieval knights. But to make this mod balanced, I gave these villagers the power of prayer, which has a 10% chance to summon their villager god and destroy the entire surrounding area. It's weird how we don't use the power of prayer in wars anymore, but it's probably because we invented stuff like the atomic bomb. So to let you abandon religion in Minecraft, I added quantum physics to the game. When you name a cat Schrodinger, it'll be both dead and alive, which means it can protect you from Schrodinger's creeper, which is dead and alive and exploding. Anyways, quantum physics is about atoms and molecules and stuff, so I added these air molecules everywhere, and I added this microscope so that we can finally see your tiny molecules. If you use the microscope on a block, you'll see all the particles that the block is made of, and you'll notice that the particles are moving around randomly, which means if you get really unlucky, they could all move like this and you'll fail your water clutch. I've never even taken a regular physics class, but Google said quantum physics has particles and waves. So I also added these waves, although I don't really understand what they have to do with anything. But if you liked the Pope, or war crimes, or wart crimes, please like the video. War is a pretty heavy topic, so I'm adding warm milk next time to soothe your soul. Subscribe to not miss it, and I'll see you soon.